once he laid the historical foundation, then he dealt with the entire plan. That's what polynomics was.
Okay. All right. And the next one?
Okay. The next one, the third one, would be The World's 16 Crucified Saviors by Percy Graves. I don't know if you mentioned this one at all. Mm-hmm. This book was originally written. Are you familiar with this book?
Yeah, I heard of it. Yes, very.
Okay.
Definitely.
This book, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors, or the subtitle is Christianity Before Christ. It was written by Percy Graves. This was written in, it first was published actually in 1875. Okay. So a lot of people were not familiar with this book, but this deals with the first Holy Trinity being Asar, Aset, and Heru, coming out of ancient Kemet, or what the Greeks called Osiris, Isis, and Horus. Okay,
right.
Horus, and it deals with how the story of the first Holy Trinity has been told over and over and over again over thousands and thousands of years, adapted to other people's cultures. How now in the book he actually deals with 27 crucified saviors.
Oh, okay.
Krishna, Buddha, Prometheus, Bacchus, or from all different nationalities, Quetzalcoatl from the Native Americans, and then you see common themes amongst all of them. All of them were said to have been born on or around December 25th. All of them were said to have had 12 disciples. All of them from the birth of 12 to, all of them about the age of 12 to 30. There's no record of them. So you have all these common themes. So that's the world.
Now, who's that by? Who's that book by?
Percy Graves, Kersey Graves, Percy Graves, The World's 16 Crucified Saviors.
Wow. So it's written in 1875.
Correct. Correct. It was republished in 1991. Okay. So yeah.
Oh, you had it online on your website?
No, but I have some of the information is available in some various DVDs on the website, like the DVD by Anthony Browder, African Origins of Christianity. Some of the other DVDs would deal with some of that subject matter also that we have online. Because we have about 150 DVDs online.
150 DVDs. Wow.
Yeah, about 150 online at AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. They're all most of them are up to 50% off right now because of the holidays, and buy 4 get 1 free, and we're offering free shipping right now also.
Wow, good deal. We're going to make sure we order something from you. I want to talk about that at the end because you got something special up there.
Definitely.
Yeah.
What was the name of that book, brother?
Which one? The last one you just mentioned? Yeah. The World's 16 Crucified Saviors.
Yeah, that's by Percy Graves.
Percy Graves. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's number 4?
Number 4 would be Golden Age of the Moor, edited by Dr. Ivy Van Sertima. This is a very unique book because what it is, it's a lot of the African-centered scholars contributed essays to this book. So we have essays by Dr. Jose Pimenta Bay, who's one of the foremost experts on the Moors in the country. He actually taught classes at Temple University on the history of the Moors. I had the pleasure of interviewing Dr. Jose Pimenta Bay before. Runoko Rashidi, one of our great grandmaster teachers, is one of the contributors in here as well. I've interviewed Runoko before. Wayne Chandler is one of the contributors also. Dr. John G. Jackson, one of our great grandmaster scholars, who's an ancestor now, was one of the contributors as well. So he's dealing with different aspects of the history of the Moors. Now, for those who are not familiar with the term Moor, the word Moor means black. Okay, it comes from the Greek moros or moros, and it means black. This was a general term that Romans and Greeks, as well as other people, used in describing African people. Okay, it was a general term. So this book, now this deals with the golden age of the Moors. This deals with from medieval times. It deals with from like 8th century to about the 15th century. And for those that are familiar, the Moors coming from Northern Africa invaded Spain and Portugal, which at that time was known as the Iberian Peninsula. Today is known as Spain and Portugal, but they went into Spain in 711 AD, well actually 710 AD, conquered in 711 AD, and they controlled various portions of Spain. They controlled portions of Sicily. They went to other European countries. They went into Ireland. They went into Austria, Germany, and it deals with the history of the Moors during that period of time. More importantly, it deals with the contribution that these Africans made to Europe, which is not talked about at all. Okay, and what's happened is what you had is an obfuscation of the phenotypical description of Moors. Okay. So let me give you a quick example. I was watching a documentary on the History Channel dealing with the Crusades. Mm-hmm. Now, the Moors are directly involved in the Crusades, the 8 Crusades that took place between 1096 and 1492. They show the Moors riding in on horseback into Spain. The Moors that they show look like Arabs, okay? Mm-hmm. But the Moors are not Arabs. The Moors were African people. But what's happened is the word Moor has become synonymous with the word Muslim, and the word Muslim has become synonymous with the word Arab. So when you go and study history and you read about Moors, if you don't understand the etymological derivation of the word Moor and what it means, you think you're reading about Arabs because they obfuscated, they distorted what Moor is, what Moor means, and it's done on purpose to hide the history of the Moors. You know, Dr. Jose P.A. said, if you don't understand the names that we were called throughout history, you will not know how to find yourself in history.
Right.
Okay. Right. You will not know that the people of Phoenicia were of African descent. Okay. You know various different ethnic groups. If you don't understand what we were called during various times of history, you won't know that you're reading your own history. Okay. Right. But the Moors introduced everything into Europe from rice to silk, because the Europeans, they were wearing the same clothing year round. They didn't wear a lot of clothing in the summertime and heavier clothing in the winter. They wore the same clothing year round. That's one of the reasons why they smelled so bad. Okay. Plus they had poor hygiene. This is one of the reasons why the bubonic plague spread so rapidly and killed about a third of Europe's population. But they introduced silk. They introduced different foods like rice, sugar cane. They introduced strawberries, and it was the foods and the medicine and technology that the Moors introduced into Europe that actually helped save Europe from the bubonic plague. They introduced sanitation systems. Okay, introduced postal systems. It goes on and on. They also introduced, unfortunately, cotton to Europe. In about the 10th century, they introduced cotton, which ended up being the downfall, and then cotton became the king of the slave trade in Europe, and England became the king of the cotton industry.
So what? Okay. And give me the title of the book again, Michael.
This is Golden Age of the Moor. It's edited by Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, who's now an ancestor. He's one of our great grandmaster scholar warriors. But this is a fantastic book. And the history of the Moors is one of the missing links in us understanding our history. The Moors surrendering Grenada on January 2nd, 1492 is directly related to Columbus sailing in August 3rd, 1492, sailing for the New World. But see, the thing is, they already knew the New World existed because the Moors had already created spherical globes that charted the different countries of the world. The Moors had already created atlases that told you what type of people lived in different areas of the world, what type of food existed in different areas of the world. See, they were going. Columbus was actually going to find those resources, and Dr. Jose P.A. and another professor, Booker T. Coleman, who's now known as Kabahaya Wata Kamene, they don't believe that Columbus was lost at all. They believe that